Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley was a cobblestoned wizarding alley and shopping area located in London, England behind a pub called the Leaky Cauldron. Inside the alley was an assortment of restaurants, shops, and other sites. All items on the Hogwarts supply list could be bought at Diagon Alley. The alley was completely hidden from the Muggle world, which was right outside of its boundaries. It was very large in area and essentially the center of wizarding London. Consequently, the demand for space here was steep, and rent costed loads of galleons. Location: Diagon Alley was accessible from Muggle London through the Leaky Cauldron, which was on Charing Cross Road, set between a bookshop and a record shop. The Muggles who passed by the inn seemed to be quite unconscious of its existence. Knockturn Alley was an offshoot of Diagon Alley, as were the areas of Horizon Alley and Carkit Market. Access: the entrance was behind the Leaky Cauldron in a small, walled courtyard with a dustbin. Diagon Alley could be accessed by tapping the correct brick in the wall behind the Leaky Cauldron, from the rubbish bin, 3 up and 2 across. The wall went in a small hole first but formed a large archway. It could also be accessed by Flipowder and Apparition. There might have been other entrances as well. Diagon Alley connected to a second, less reputable shopping district, Knockturn Alley. This alley was completely devoted to the dark arts and was considered disreputable and dodgy by the wizarding community at large. A wizard seen visiting the alley was considered to be up to no good. Community: inside the alley was an assortment of restaurants, shops, and other sites. Some even had tables out front with colored umbrellas. Particularly during the days or weeks before school starts at Hogwarts, the location was packed with witches and wizards, though shops were open year-round as witches and wizards traveled to the location for various goods. While the shops included many school supply locations, there were also many locations important to the wizarding world, such as Gringotts Wizarding Bank and Ollivanders. Diagon Alley was also the location of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, established by Fred and George Weasley shortly after leaving Hogwarts. History: the Leaky Cauldron was present long before Charing Cross Road was even planned in the 19th century. Its true address was number 1, Diagon Alley, and it was believed to have been built sometime in the early 1500s, along with the rest of the Wizarding Street. It was a popular historical theory that the second oldest building in Diagon Alley was Gringotts Wizarding Bank and that the other shops grew up around it. However, there is a possibility that Ollivanders was the oldest building, records dating back to the early 4th century BC. When the Statute of Secrecy was imposed, Diagon Alley was hidden by the use of many powerful spells of concealment. The then Minister for Magic, Ulick Gamp, agreed to give the landlord of the day present at the Leaky Cauldron responsibility for letting people into Diagon Alley from his backyard. In 1926, one of the shops in Diagon Alley was burgled with the help of a four-headed bird. Jacob's siblings visits. Before the start of the 1984 to 1985 school year, Jacob's sibling met and befriended Rowan Khanna in Diagon Alley, where they went to purchase their school supplies before the start of their first year, including their first wand from Ollivanders and required textbooks from Flourish and Blotts. In February 1988, around Valentine's Day, Gilderoy Lockhart held a book signing event in Flourish and Blotts for his book Voyages with Vampires, in which Jacob's sibling and several of their friends were invited to attend. During the 1988 to 1989 school year, Jacob's sibling and a friend ventured into Diagon Alley to enter Knockturn Alley. They also visited Flourish and Blotts, where they met Madame Villanelle, in order to learn clues about their then missing brother. The two also had a skirmish in Knockturn Alley outside Borgin and Burke's with a dark witch and other dark wizards, whom Patricia Rakepick saved them from. They also visited Ollivanders later that school year to purchase a second wand with Rakepick after it was broken. They also visited Knockturn Alley to duel a dark wizard for Mundungus Fletcher. During the 1989 to 1990 school year, Jacob Flourish and Blotts again to research Mahudakoro. Shortly after, their sibling entered the shop and asked Villanelle about their brother's visit. During this year, they entered Knockturn Alley several times for various matters. They visited Flourish and Blotts again with Chiara Lobaska and Talbot Winger to research Grindylows. They infiltrated a meeting of R, disguised as Rakepick with Polyjuice Potion, resulting in a skirmish. They also visited the shop again with Mundungus Fletcher to inquire information about a dark witch who had been investigating Jacob's sibling wand. The two later witnessed Marilla Snide being initiated into R in Knockturn Alley by the same dark witch under invisibility cloaks. During the 1990 to 1991 school year, Zenith Zeep held a meet and greet event to market her hair care potion Zeep's Luscious Lock solution in the Leaky Cauldron. However, the potion induced potent memory loss in several Diagon Alley residents who drank it, including Garrick Ollivander and Villanelle. Zeep, a dark witch working for R, stole a wand from Ollivander's and placed a fake wand in its place. Zeep was confronted in Nocturne Alley by Jacob's sibling and dueled, where she drank the potion in response, erasing her memories. Jacob's sibling later supplied the counter serum to Zeep's potion to several Diagon Alley wizards and witches in Ollivander's, which prevented further memory loss for them. Jacob's sibling and Jacob returned to Diagon Alley later this school year for an awkward dinner with their estranged father Peregrine in the Leaky Cauldron. Afterwards, the two siblings discussed the honesty of their father, who was the leader of R, and Jacob's past relationship with Olivia Green, the new defense against the dark arts professor at Hogwarts, whom Jacob's sibling was curious about. Jacob's sibling later encountered Ben Copper in Flourish and Blots, who was there to study for his upcoming N.E.W.T.S. and to remember his deceased friend Rowan Khanna, who loved going to the bookshop. Harry Potter's early visits. Harry Potter's first visit to Diagon Alley with Rubeus Hagrid marked his reintroduction to the wizarding world on July 31, 1991, his 11th birthday. Harry's first stop was Gringotts Wizarding Bank, where he encountered goblins for the first time. After entering the huge, grand bank and explaining what they wanted to a goblin, Hagrid and Harry were taken by Griphook down to the vaults on a speeding cart, which made Hagrid sick. First they stopped at the Potter Vault, then continued to the higher security Vault 713, where Hagrid got the Philosopher's Stone. After obtaining money from the bank, Hagrid helped Harry shop for his school supplies and purchased Harry's 11th birthday present, the snowy owl Hedwig, from Aesop's Owl Emporium. Harry later named her Hedwig, a name he found in a history of magic. Harry also purchased his wand from Ollivander's. After trying out a large number of wands, none of which seemed quite right, Harry was handed a holly and phoenix feather wand. Harry pays 7 galleons for the wand and leaves the shop. Also, when visiting Diagon Alley, Harry remarked that he wished he had more than one pair of eyes to be able to take in all the sights the alley had to offer. Harry, Hermione, and the Weasleys visited Flourish and Blots to buy school books for their second year at Hogwarts. They discovered that Gilderoy Lockhart was signing his new book, Magical Me. When Lockhart spotted Harry, he dragged him up in front of the camera with him and announced to the crowd that he would be the new defense against the dark arts teacher at Hogwarts for the upcoming year. After Harry escaped from the spotlight, Lucius Malfoy and Arthur Weasley got into a fight. Lucius used that moment to sneak the diary into Ginny Weasley's cauldron. During the summer before his 3rd year, Harry spent several weeks in Diagon Alley, staying in a room at the Leaky Cauldron by night and roaming the street by day, marveling at the incredible shops and the witches and wizards, in from all over the country, who came by to do their shopping. He did his homework out in the open, ate free ice creams, picked up his books, and repeatedly stoked by quality Quidditch supplies to admire the firebolt. Ron, Hermione, and the rest of the Weasleys were also staying at the Leaky Cauldron. Hermione brought, despite Ron's protests, Crookshanks from the magical menagerie. That night, Harry overheard Mr. and Mrs. Weasley in conversation, and learned that Sirius Black was after him. Return of the Dark Lord. Following Voldemort's return to power in 1996, wizards and witches no longer felt safe wandering out in public, and Diagon Alley changed dramatically. The once crowded streets stood virtually empty, faces of Death Eaters plastered the fronts of once bright shops, and street vendors popped up, hawking anti-dark devices. Within another year and Voldemort's taking over of the Ministry of Magic, a large number of shops had closed, replaced by others devoted to the dark arts, and the street was filled with Muggleborns who had been cast aside by the new system. Ollivander's and Florian Fortescue's ice cream parlor were closed. Presumably, after Voldemort's eventual downfall and the installation of Kingsley Shacklebolt as Minister for Magic, Diagon Alley eventually returned to its splendor of old. Etymology. The words Diagon and Alley, when pronounced together, produce the word diagonally, which is most probably the origin of the name Diagon Alley. When Harry mispronounced the name due to inhaling a mouthful of ash, he landed in a fireplace in nearby Nocturne Alley. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.